I've identified three of the biggest delays working in the gig economy. And let's be real here, the bigger the delays, basically the more money that's lost for you as a driver. So it's important that we go over this. And I want to go over one specifically that I experienced today that I really didn't have to deal with for years. Welcome to the channel. My name is Mike. On this channel, I help you with the gig economy, your side hustle, your full-time hustle, making money and creating multiple revenue streams. So if you are new here, consider subscribing. And make sure to check out my Amazon storefront, that link down below. Get the very best accessories for any side hustle. So I'm not going to waste your time here. Let's get into it. Number one, restaurant delays when driving food delivery. So it's really frustrating if you're driving on DoorDash, on Uber Eats, on Grubhub. So number one, you're just simply picking the best order for you to start. So typically the highest paying, the least amount of time, and the least amount of miles here. So after all of that, you get to the restaurant and they're not ready. It could be not ready, or even worse, they never received the order, or it's sitting there on a tag basically and they haven't even pulled it, they haven't even started it. So to combat this, number one, I would take notes on those locations. It can be literal notes, but it can simply be just mental notes here. And you want to think, okay, is this restaurant on the ball when I get there? Because technically they should be on time. They should be ready when you get there. So are they ready? Number one, do they ever have items out of stock? Because that's another thing. Now that's not as much of a delay. You will have to, of course, contact the customer and just talk to them about any substitutions. If the restaurant, let's say, has the ticket, they got the order request, but they're so busy that they just haven't pulled it yet, what would you do in that delay? I mean, places get busy, those things are gonna happen. So number one, if it happens just here and there, really on just one delivery, I would keep picking up at that restaurant. But if they're kind of negligent going forward, if they really have a bad management and ultimately team staff that continually miss orders, that it's delayed, okay, the ticket's there, we just haven't pulled it yet, or just starting, then you may want to decline those orders going forward. And remember, you have that freedom as an independent contractor on any of those food delivery platforms to decline orders from a certain restaurant because it doesn't make business sense for you. So delay number two, really on a more macro level across any niche in this gig economy. It can be that food delivery, but it can be rideshare. It can even be scooter charging, or even, let's say, grocery delivery. So delay number two, what happens if your area is slow? So you've invested your time driving on these apps, and there's certainly other things you could be doing. Just like watching this video, there's other things you could be doing, and I appreciate you watching the video, by the way. But if you're driving, again, on any niche, and it's not giving you a request, you've invested time, and you're really not getting paid hourly unless you're really working on Amazon Flex, let's say. So what do you do then? What I would do, since driving on these apps part-time and full-time since 2015, here's what I would do. So some of these apps show you hotspots, basically, you know, those areas based on the app analytics that should get more requests. It can be anything from hot zones, you know, the orange, yellow, red color indicators of busy zones, or it can be, let's say, a flame icon like on DoorDash. You get the point. But I would combine that with your own research. Because think about it, if it's showing a hot zone, especially if it's a changing hot zone, like it is on Uber Eats or even Uber's rideshare, then those hot zones are constantly changing. So you don't want to chase it, go drive there, and then it just shifts. And then let's look at really the static hot zones like the DoorDash, right? So if it's a static hot zone, and it does change on DoorDash, but not as frequently as Uber, let's say. So if it's more static, then it's kind of the same thing. You might not want to chase it because a lot of other drivers might be chasing that zone as well. So if everyone's driving to the hot zone, again, on really any niche, then the slow area is going to continue to be slow at the hot zone because of oversaturation. So again, my hack there is my own research on my own power strips. Those are areas that are dense with restaurants and ideally dense with order requests. And they're not always marked as hot zones on any of those apps. Another thing, let's say you're online with DoorDash, let's say, and you're already in either the marked hot zone or your own hot zone, and it's still slow. What can you do? This is kind of my take, and I've heard that some of you agree with this in the comments on the team here. So let me know down below in the comments if you agree with this. But I'm already in a hot zone, and it's slow. So what I've done in the past, again, this is kind of a hunch here, is just slightly shift my zone. It could literally be between like 1 to 3 minutes away. Just simply moving. Literally at times I'm sitting in this plaza and I see another plaza right over there, just kind of driving over there, again, just a minute away. Sometimes I feel like it kind of jogs this app from your profile, your account. Okay, this account is stagnant, they're just sitting there. And you may see this when sitting at home as well. Okay, they're actively moving, they're an active driver, they're ready to go because they've just moved to a different location. I don't know. Again, kind of a hunch there. Let me know if you agree. And honestly, there's a lot of other tips I could give you about kind of jogging or boosting a slow day. So make sure to subscribe if you haven't subscribed already, because I want to move on and I want to get into the delay from today. Went to the gym, got my stuff done, was ready to drive, ready to go online with Uber Eats after. So leaving the gym, kind of going down that winding levels there, and I'm looking outside of the parking garage and it's looking pretty nasty out there. So I pull up the forecast and it looks like we got a severe thunderstorm coming in. Okay, fine, I can still drive, I can get out in front of it. It's not gonna hit this exact zone. Hopefully, should be fine there. So looking at the current map of the time at 6:08 p.m., this is what I was seeing. Kind of a normal weekend surge pay, which is the bonus pay on Uber Eats. So an additional $1.50 to $2.50. And that's when it's absolutely unloaded, leaving the parking garage, and basically had to abort driving because it came down like this. It came down like an absolute monsoon. We had rain and we had hail, which I don't even see that often here in Pittsburgh. So check this out. So I kid you not, we had flooding roads, we had downed trees, and really we had scenes like this on my entire ride home trying to get back here as my Volkswagen Passat was getting absolutely barraged with rain, again, hail, whipping wind, and I'm just trying to get home. So another delay to your driving, obviously it is weather. And I say that I didn't really have to deal with this for 3 years because I had previously lived in San Diego, California, and I'm really just dealing with more and more sun. I know, tough life. But look at the map and let's see what the map is actually doing when it comes to pay. So a bit later at 6:22, when it's really coming down and making it home safely, it's now at a bonus pay of $3 to $4 on the delivery platform. But we've recently taken a look at Uber's ride-sharing platform and recent bonuses as part of a driver stimulus package. And look at these bonuses on the rideshare platform, really at the same time here at 6:24 p.m. We have $12 bonuses, $9.50, $16, $12, $15, up to an $18 single ride bonus. And this really echoes what I saw here in Pittsburgh when I started in 2015, 2016, that a lot of these apps, of course, they're really weather dependent because what happens? You get severe weather, you get even just generally rain, what have you, you'll see higher pay bonuses. So here's a trade-off that you really need to think about. And I remember doing this, driving rideshare here in Pittsburgh, is the pros and cons of should I keep driving or is this going to be a delay from my shift today? Because number one, it's safety. I don't want you driving out there if it's not safe to do so. And frankly, this was a major delay driving today. I couldn't even drive because, again, roads were flooding, trees were falling, and again, even hail, which I typically, again, don't see in here in Pittsburgh. So I want you to think about that. Here's what I would do to really combat weather delays. So I asked you, our team members here prior, at the beginning of the month here, I said, okay, how much do you want to earn from all of your revenue streams this month? So if you get weather delays or really any of these delays mentioned in this video, if you're having a big day driving, if you're having a day where you're making, $25, $30 an hour, then you might want to keep driving. You might want to take advantage of that really busy day and really protecting your earnings for later in the week. So let's say, for instance, you're trying to hit $100 a day and maybe doing it in 6 hours. So if you're out there driving and let's say I'm at 100 plus after 4 hours, well, I've had it where if I've allocated 6 hours or whatever it is to driving And if I've already hit my goal, then you might as well just keep driving as a buffer for later in that week. So thankfully, the weather is supposed to be nicer this week here, so I can hit the road and make some money. But let me know. I mean, the restaurant delays, the slow areas when you're driving, but weather. Have you ever had to deal with something like this? It kind of sets you back. Let me know down below. If you got value in this video, definitely drop me a like. And you can also click or tap screen here for my newest video, as well as a video recommended for you. And I'll see you in the next one.